What's going on, guys? Welcome to this video in which I'll be showing you and sharing you some outrageous Facebook ad growth strategies. Now, these strategies are responsible for generating millions of dollars in revenue for some of the accounts and the clients that we manage over here at Line Media. Now, in this video, I'm going to share basic account structure with you on Facebook, right? How to properly set up an account structure, right? I'm going to show you some advanced account structures, different ways to scale your Facebook ad account, right? This video is for you if you own a company, if you own a brand, right, and you manage your own Facebook ads, or if you have an employee that manages your Facebook ad, you can share this video with him. You can share some of the strategies and the tactics that you're going to learn in this video, right? That is going to be super effective. Honestly, this could literally change your life, right? Because obviously, if you own a business, if you own a brand, you know, like one of the most important things of owning a brand is generating new customers, and Facebook ad is a great way to do that, right? If you know how to do it, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. So man, really buckle up, pay attention, grab some coffee, grab some energy drink if you need to, because like, man, you're about to get a lot of value. You're about to learn so much with this video that you're about to watch. All right, my name is Frank Kenny, and I own a performance marketing agency, Line Media, right? Now, I don't want to share too much about me. I'm here to provide you value. I'm here to provide you as much value as possible, right? So without further ado, let's get things started. All right, so first things first, right? So I'm going to talk about some like beginner stuff, some basic things, like how to properly set up some like basic accounts, right? So first things first is whenever you're setting up a Facebook ad account, right? So you have your business accounts, you have your business manager all set up, right? So you have the ad account set up, you have your pixel correctly installed, right? When you're going to create your first campaign. So you may have heard some people say they will create a unified campaign, right? So meaning they're going to create both a prospecting and a remarketing campaign. And a remarketing, they're going to create both a prospecting and remarketing ads in the same campaign. I don't advise that. I like to segment those, right? My prospecting campaign is going to be different from my remarketing campaign, right? This is just some of the basics, right? And you always want to make sure that you're picking the right account strategy, right? And the slides that I have over here, right? So separate your campaigns as much as possible, right? So prospecting campaign is going to be for prospecting campaign. Remarketing campaign is going to be for remarketing campaign, right? Now, some of the other things that we're going to talk about here is just to kind of give you an overview. Is advantage shopping campaign, right? We're going to talk about DAB campaign, which stands for dynamic ad for broad audience, right? We're also going to talk about some DPA campaign, which is dynamic product ads, right? This is some advanced stuff that we're going to talk about here, right? We're also going to talk about some lead gen and email capture, right? For building your email list, which you already know that this is very, very important. We're going to talk about how to set up some attention campaign. We're going to talk about how to test different audiences and how to test different creators, right? The proper way, the real way to do it, right? And then we're also going to talk about budget, right? Based on the budget, how should you split up your budget, right? And just to give you a brief overview, so you normally want to split up your campaign. You normally want to split up your budget in this specific manner. So you want to spend a disproportionate amount of your budget, obviously, on prospecting, right? And a small percentage of that is going to be on remarketing. Prospecting is usually going to be between like 70 to 80, right? Some people do 60-40, meaning like 60% on the budget is going to be on prospecting, and then 40% of the budget is going to be on remarketing, right? But the best structure that I found to work the best is 70% on prospecting and 30% on remarketing, right? So that's how you want to do that. Advantage shopping campaign. I've created a video on how to set up an advantage shopping campaign, right? So I might post that over here in the video. But advantage shopping campaign, it's a newer campaign model, strategist, or product that you want to see, if you want to call it, that Facebook rolled out recently, right? And since inception, since we've been deploying this within the accounts that we manage, oh my God, the returns are insane, right? So if you're new to Facebook, so I would usually start with this advantage shopping campaign as your first campaign to start with, right? Because the returns are almost immediate depending if you have a good enough budget inside that campaign. I would usually recommend a minimum of like $50 or $100 to start out with, right? Because anything less, it's going to take a while to really feel like machines start like learning and things of that essence. So 50 bare minimum for this specific campaign, but I would start out with this specific campaign, right? From Facebook itself, this campaign's yield is, in comparison to the other campaigns type, a 32% increase in return on ad spend, right? And a 70% lower CPA. Obviously, everybody wants a low cost per acquisition, higher margins for like business and things of that essence, right? And obviously, we want more return from our ad spend. So if you want that, obviously, you want to start with an advantage shopping campaign. Now, let's talk about the other campaigns that we were talking about. We talked about DABA, right, which stands again for dynamic ad for broad audiences. And then we also talked about DPA, right? I mentioned DPA earlier, which stands for dynamic product ads, right? So DPA is mainly used for remarketing, right? And we'll talk about it in just a moment, but cross-sell campaigns. Well, yeah, cross-sell campaigns, which is used with DPA. Let's go back to the top. So dynamic ad for broad audience. So dynamic ad for broad audience, how this is different from the other, your regular prospecting audience, or from your regular prospecting ad is this, that will put you in auction windows of prospect who have the highest propensity of converting. And I say that because they're in the market for your product, right? If you sell shoes, if you sell t-shirts, Facebook is gonna place this, with this specific campaign, Facebook is gonna place you in auction windows of prospects who have either visited some of your competitors' website looking for the products, looking for shoes, looking for t-shirt. That's how you get placed in those auctions. Like they know that, Facebook knows that, oh, they're in the market for this specific product, right? They're in the market for your products, right? So those campaigns is highly effective with just how it behaves. It targets users who are in the market for your product, right? And now let's talk about DPA, right? DPA is mainly for remarketing, right? It's only for remarketing, right? Say a prospect goes to your website, they view a product, right? Whenever they view a product, a pixel event is gonna be fired. Hey, they just viewed this product, right? And then they proceed to add another product to the cart. Hey, another event is gonna be fired. They added this product to the cart, right? For whatever reason, they don't purchase. Maybe the price is too high. They get distracted. God knows what, right? They go off the face. They leave your website. They continue scrolling on Facebook. They continue scrolling on Instagram. If you have the DPA set up, as soon as they go off, leave the website, they're gonna be remarketing of the same product. They're gonna see that same product that they viewed, right? And typically what we like to do is when we set up this, we like to offer them some type of discount, maybe like a free shipping, or maybe if it's like a discount, 10%, 5%, 50% discount, right? Which prompts them to complete their purchase, right? So it's highly effective. If you view the product, later when they leave their website, they're retargeted with that same product. It's crazy and it's very effective, right? And talk about cross-selling. You can use cross-selling in this specific manner, right? Now, let's say somebody purchases a t-shirt from you, right? Facebook knows, and obviously Facebook is gonna know that. Now you can cross-sell, right? Meaning, cool, this person bought a t-shirt for me. I wanna show them now we have pants, we have t-shirts, we have hats or whatever, right? You can create another campaign, DPA campaign, set up specifically focusing on another product that they don't already have. And Facebook is really good at knowing what the customer has. So it shows them a different product, right? And hence why this is like cross-selling. You have this product now, here's what else we have. Let's talk about lead gen and really just building up your audience list or your email list, right? As you already know, email is one of the most valuable form of marketing, right? And the reason because imagine that like none of these, like Facebook goes down or Instagram goes down or whatever other channel of distribution that you're using to get your product out there, if these never existed or if they go down for whatever reason, guess what? You still have your email list, right? And it doesn't really cost anything to market to those individuals. Like you can just send out an email blast like, hey, you're running a sale on this specific thing or for whatever it may be. It is one of your most valuable piece of marketing material, if you will call it, or asset as a business, right? Because those customers already know you, right? And it doesn't cost really to market to them except for paying for the ESP that you're using, like the email service provider. So again, building your email list is highly important. I will always recommend to have a campaign that is specifically focused on building your email list, right? There's two ways to build an email list, right? One is by having a lead gen capture form on Facebook specifically, right? Meaning, when you're running this campaign, right? When you're running a lead gen capture campaign, is that the prospect doesn't leave Facebook. Facebook is capturing that information right on the platform, right? And then you're providing that, pushing that to your CRM, whatever you're using. I would recommend Klaviyo. So that's one way. Another way is by doing this, is by having a separate landing page that's specifically focused, obviously, on just capturing the information, right? So Facebook is, once they click on the ad, they're gonna be redirected to a specific landing page that's meant to capture their email. Typically what we've seen is that this method has a higher propensity to convert customer, or like the quality of the email of the customer is higher compared to the Facebook lead gen form one, right? So lead gen campaigns are very effective for building out your audience list, and email lists, should I say, and email lists are very important as a business, right? Talk about some retention, right? Retention, right? So at this point, you've built out a good customer base. You have customers who love your product. So a couple of things that you can do here in terms of like retention. So you can create different audiences within Facebook, right? So you can create audiences of people who have purchased from you in the past 30 days. You can create audiences of people who've purchased from you in the last 60 days. You can create audiences of people who've purchased from you in the last 90 days, right? And the reason why you want to create this different cohort of audiences is for. Number one is if somebody purchased in the last 30 days, right? Like you don't wanna create a campaign showing them products to purchase again. Like just purchase from you, right? Now say that somebody's purchased from you like 90 days ago. Now you can specifically market to this individual because it's been a lot of while since they purchased from you, right? So you will create that audience of the 90-day list of people who have purchased from you, right? In that time frame, and then just show them new products. Hey, you haven't purchased from us in a while, like here's some new products that you can purchase, right? Or hey, maybe it's a seasonality thing, you're running a sale, or maybe you're launching a new product, right? You can again create these audiences and then deploy campaigns based upon like the new product maybe that you're deploying, right? And targeting these specific customers. They're already customers of yours, right? They're not new customers, they're already customers of yours. They know you already. So like capacity to convert those customers is very, 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 very high, right? And a low CPA. Retention. Let's talk about audiences, testing different audiences and what's the best way to do this, right? So you have a campaign running, right? You're seeing some success with that campaign in terms of like different audiences that you've already tested. You know that this audience works really good, right? Now, how do you test new audiences? Do you test them in the same campaign, right? You have your campaign, you have different ad sets, which are your audiences. Do you create another audience and then start testing that? I would advise against that, to not do that. Don't create a new audience in the specific campaign. Rather, what you want to do is duplicate that campaign, right? And then start testing out new audiences within that new campaign. And the reason why you're doing this is because you don't want to disrupt your campaign with the audience that's already winning, right? Because the moment that you create a new audience in there, right? Now Facebook has to reallocate and redistribute your budget from maybe the audience that's already working. It has to distribute budget to this new audience, right? And that kind of messes up like learnings of that specific campaign, right? You don't want to disrupt that. It's best to duplicate the campaign, right? And then start testing new audiences in that new campaign, because you already have a winning campaign over here. You already have a winning audience over in the previous campaign. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Let's talk about creative testing, right? It's the same way of what we just talked about in terms of like the audience testing. You literally the same thing applied. You have a campaign, you have an audience that's working, and then you have creative that's working. You want to test new creatives, right? Because one thing that you should always be doing on your campaign is testing a new audience or testing new creative to beat the control, right? That's how you continue to advance, because there's going to be a point in time to where something called creative fatigue, right? People just get tired of seeing that ad, right? You need something fresh, you need something new, right? So to avoid that creative fatigue, that ad fatigue, is by constantly testing new ad under control. And it's again, as I said, the same thing applies as we just talked about in the previous, as we just talked about. You duplicate the campaign, right? You already know you have a winning audience that's working, and then you have a winning ad that's working, right? So within the new campaign that you've duplicated, right? The audiences are the same, but all you're doing is testing new ads, right? You don't want to have that same ad that's already winning, right? You're just testing new ad, right? So if you already duplicate that, so if you duplicate the campaign, right? So all your audiences again are the same. You're pausing the campaign, or you're pausing the ad that is winning, and then you're injecting new ads to test in that specific campaign. That's the best way to do that. All right, there's one more thing that we're gonna cover here, right? So I really hope this is very, 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 very juicy information, right? And when you start applying the strategies and the tactics that we're talking about here, man, this could really change your whole business, right? Because as I said before, one of the most difficult things within a brand, within a business, is generating new customers. In fact, Facebook is an invaluable platform or distribution channel to do that. And if you know how to set it up properly, as I'm showing you, and set up like proper strategy and tactics, and the reason why you should set that up, man, you could really blow up your brand. So I hope you're following it. I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're following along. So another really important thing that I want to talk about today is dynamic creative testing. I know we talked about testing audiences, we talked about testing ads, right, within a campaign. Now, there's a campaign that you can set up. So you set up a campaign as you would your regular campaign, and there's a specific setting that you turn on, which is a dynamic creative test, right? When you turn that specific setting on, what you can do is you can inject up to 10, it could be more, I think up to 10 ads, creatives. It could be big single image ad, it could be video ads, it could be GIFs, whatever, and then inject 10 of them, right? And then you can also test multiple copy, you can test multiple headlines, you can test multiple call to action all within that campaign. And Facebook, what we'll do is like we'll rotate this, obviously dynamically, right? It's gonna place this ad with this copy and with this call to action and with this headline, right? And it's just gonna keep mixing and matching, right? And then when you analyze your data, you can see out of all the ads that are all the creators, out of all the headlines, out of all the copy, what is the best one? And Facebook will tell you, right? And then based upon the best one, you can extract that and inject it into a new campaign and test that specifically because you already know that it's winning, right? That is very valuable strategies for testing creators, right? Guys, I know we talked about a lot before, and there's a few more things that I want to talk about, but I think we're going to save that for a different video, right? As you can see specifically in this screenshot over here, I took a screenshot of one of the accounts that we manage. So we spent over $2 million within a specific account, right? You see that we have multiple campaigns that we're testing over here, multiple campaigns, right? Based on the strategies that we discussed here, and it works very well, right? As you can see some of the results over here, like we generated 5x return on ad spend, right? We spent $18,000, we generated $93,000, right? With 995 purchases, right? Based upon the strategies that we just talked about. Similar over here, right? A 3x return on ad spend. We spent we generated $59,000, right? And another one over here, based upon the same strategies that we've deployed, $10,000, we generated $28,000, right? They work extremely well, right? If you set them up correctly. Guys, I hope this video has been really super valuable because again, understanding the strategies and the tactics in this video can literally transform your business, can literally transform your life, right? And I hope you've been paying attention, right? Guys, if you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer. Again, I hope this video has been super valuable to you. I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.